and head coach Mick Cronin. We'll let our party get seated, and the format will be the same as it was, gentlemen. We'll take an opening statement from Coach Cronin. We'll take questions for the student-athletes. We'll excuse the student-athletes to the locker room.
There's a phone on the steps, just so you know.
No, that's not.
Oh, that's you? Okay.
Thank you.
Just want you want you to lose your phone.
No worries. Thank you.
No problem.
All
All
right.
right.
Go right ahead, Coach.
Obviously a hard-fought game, which only makes you better. Congratulate Kenton Faces, Amita Brima, and Rodney Purvis on a great career. Those guys play extremely hard. They're what college basketball is all about. They never give in. They had unbelievably bad luck with injuries this season. And I got great respect for Kevin and his program, how hard those guys play. So that being said, our guys performed today, especially some of these guys sitting next to me. Kyle has carried us a lot offensively this year, and he was obviously a non-factor today with foul trouble. But we got a lot of answers on this team, and they haven't gotten a lot of attention. I would say the same thing about SMU. They got great players as well. So it was just, I was happy, extremely happy for these guys they were able to perform on this stage today.
We'll take questions for the student-athletes at this time. If you'd raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. For the benefit of our transcription and quote takers, if you would wait for the microphone, we will make sure to get that to you. We'll start over here, please. Go ahead, Neil.
For Troy, I guess, you played in a lot of games. Have you ever played in a game quite like this with so many stoppages, so many whistles, and how proud of you are you and your teammates for doing so well from the line, obviously?
Are you trying to insinuate that UConn got cheated?
Of course not.
Okay, I'm just checking.
We've been in a couple of games, like this, hard-fought games. It's all about, last year was filled with them, and this year had a couple of them. Just being able to make that same play, that winning plays, getting defensive stops, rebounding the basketball, and then focus on free throws. We do drills in practice. It's all about making them. If you don't, you got to run. So I'm glad that, we stepped up to the line and did what we were supposed to do at the line today.
Other questions?
Gary, over here. What happened to your tooth?
It was already, chipped from earlier in the year, but I think Amita, his head went into my mouth on an offensive rebound.
Whose head?
Brima.
Okay.
And it just came out. I just remember Coach always yelling at me not to swallow it from the first time, so I just try to run over there and give it to somebody.
So you had experience getting your tooth knocked out, and that paid off today.
Yes.
Where did you get that free throw stroke that you had today?
Just concentration. Coach has been on me all year just to focus, to stay with my same, routine, and and just focus and lock in.
Did you lose part of the tooth or all of the tooth?
Just part of it.
Okay. Other questions? Over here.
Troy, how excited are you all to, SMU, to get another shot at SMU and to keep them from winning their, second title in 3 years?
Excited that we get another opportunity, to play on Sunday. I'm glad we get the opportunity to play them once again. We're just going to focus on the scouting report, focus on the little things, and come to play well and perform on Sunday.
Troy, for you over here. For you in particular, how gratifying is it to win this after what happened last year against them in the tournament?
This is my first time beating them since my freshman year in the conference tournament. So individually, it's exciting. It's something to talk about with my family or something. But I'm glad we got the win. We had a great year. Don't stop now. Having the opportunity to beat UConn at the XL Center is great. It's a great feeling, but time to put this one behind us and focus on tomorrow.
Other questions for the student-athletes? Tom in front.
Jacob, you've had a couple of big offensive games in a row now. Is there anything you attribute that to in particular? You've had a good year, but you've picked it up here the last couple of days, obviously.
Well, I just feel like if I'm aggressive, I try to pick my spots, and it's just March, so it's just time to perform.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we'll excuse the student athletes to the locker room. Thank you, gentlemen. And we'll take questions for Coach Cronin at this time. Again, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone over to you. We can start over here, please.
Mick, what did you see with Brima and Gary Clark? What did you?
I did not. Last week I saw him throwing a flagrant elbow that wasn't called. That's why his tooth is loose. But I did not see the whatever happened today. I haven't seen that yet.
Coach, how well do you feel like y'all are playing right now, and what do you see at SMU given what you've seen this weekend?
Well, yesterday is meaningless come Sunday. So when Saturday becomes yesterday in March, it's all one game world. Michigan State looked unstoppable last year. They got to the NCAA tournament and they lost to Middle Tennessee State. So none of it matters. You better be ready to play if you're trying to win a tournament. That said, SMU is, in my opinion, one of the best teams in the country. They've proved it all year. They've proven it all year. They're extremely hard to play defense against because of their intelligence level. They're extremely well coached. They got veteran guys, and their talent level is high. They got guys that can make shots, and they really pass the ball to each other. They totally play to win. They do not care who scores. They're just trying to win the game. They've got some unbelievable winners on their team. My respect for their personnel is why I voted 4 of them first team all-league.
Mick, you alluded to this in your opening statement about not getting much from Kyle, but still gutting out a win. How much does that say about, you've talked about this before, the balance that you have and the weapons that you have? Is this like a testament to the overall strength of your team?
Well, you got to try to develop it as much as possible. You know, we play this year, we play with 10 scholarship guys, with Kane Broom sitting out for next year. So it's been I've been constantly preaching to our bench that they're going to be the key to any run we make in March if we make one, because games like this happen. Foul trouble happens to a guy like Kyle. Jacob had foul trouble for a while as well. You know, another team starts playing extremely well against you. Obviously, Jalen Adams really was breaking us down at will in the second half. And you got to have some answers. You got to have some guys perform off the bench. And in different spots, Quadri was really good for us. Obviously, Jaron Cumberland's he's like another starter. But I think it's going to continue to be a big key for us if we're going to continue to advance. I would say Adams was able to do what he did because he's really good. And I think he was not healthy last week, at least, not totally. Right? And he definitely has got his explosiveness back. He's just really, really good player. He's like Barry Sanders with a basketball out there. I mean, his change of direction and explosiveness is tremendous.
We'll go to Tom over here.
Mick, you figured going in, their 500 record.
Yeah, their record meant nothing.
What I was going to say is
they were 2-0.
You figured they were
coming
going.
into today.
Yeah, you figured they were going to throw everything at you, hard physical game. Is that good for you guys to see at this point, or how did you guys take?
Yeah, I think the worst thing in basketball is to get false hope, and you play teams that do not challenge you, or do not have the personnel to challenge you, or do not physically challenge you. So, I think sometimes you can fall into bad patterns as a team, and you start to have success in ways that are not going to happen when you play a quality team. So playing UConn on the road with Vance Jackson back in the lineup with Jalen Adams healthy, obviously we knew what was coming today, and it just makes you better.
Go to Dave in front.
Not trying to insinuate anything here, but just does the flow of the game kind of get wrecked with when so many calls are being made both ways?
If there's let me say this, the guys are paid a lot of money, and if there's fouls on any team, they should be called. And in the last 2 or 3 weeks all around our league, there's been a lot of stuff going on. It needs to be called. It's a basketball game. So whether it's an elbow, he's going to call on both teams, needs to be called. You're talking to a guy who was a part of a horrible incident a long time ago where stuff wasn't called and stuff escalated. and it was a terrible, terrible scene for two great universities. So that stuff needs to be called. Any foul needs to be called. If it's a foul, it's a foul. You always have a choice, then don't foul. So I thought those aren't easy games to officiate, but you know what? Sometimes those guys get paid a lot of money, and both teams play zone, and nobody touches anybody, and they get to go to dinner. So today they had to earn their money.
Get one or two more for Coach? Okay. Seeing none, Coach, well, thank you for your time today.
Well,
Congratulations.
They're passing it to somebody.
Oh, they're passing. We'll get one more in.
I'm blinded, but I think I can.
No, you're good. What did y'all, going back to previewing tomorrow's game, what worked well for y'all in that first game against SMU that may not have worked as well in that second game?
Well, we played really well in the second game. We led until the 10-minute mark, and last 15 minutes we scored 10 points. And that's because they're really good on defense. They were at home, their intensity level ratcheted up. And I think, if much like a team like Virginia, if they force you to just shoot all jump shots, you're going to lose. I think it's fool's gold. So you got to find a way to get some layups and free throws, whether it's off the post up, the drive, the second shot. But it's not easy against them. There's a reason they're as good as they are. And their players are very smart, too. So it's really hard to break their defense down. The first game we made a lot of shots early, same as the second game. But I would say, I think too many coaches say, well, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. They're really, really good. They took a lot of stuff away from us. They made it really hard on us to score inside. And it's a credit to their players. They stepped up and got the job done, just like we did the first time. So, I'm just a big believer in performance. And, we're going to have to perform really well to win tomorrow.
Coach, congratulations on advancing. We'll see you tomorrow.